You didn't end up reading the newspaper yet, did you?
Nope, because we kind of ended off there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yes, this is Baines Ridge. I think I described it as moderately wealthy. Everyone's housed and stuff. Rip. But where was I going with this? Most of the buildings are made of stone. And yeah, there's a big bustling guild hall. That's where a lot of bulk sales happen. To which then those goods get sent to market, where you can do individual things. So if you want to buy from the guild, you'd be buying swords or something by the hundreds.
Gotcha.
By the boatload. What else? This is one of the older towns that was first founded when these island chains were discovered. But everything else, the settlement only started like 100 years ago, so everything's newish. Yes, you can get identification and stuff. They do services like that here. There's a library. Let me rephrase this. If you want like an appraisal, you can do that in the guild hall. If you want to talk to an actual scholar, you'd go to the library. Yes. That's me. um, yes, you should be able to.
Yeah.
Right. Right. The library in this place isn't like a public library.
Mhm.
It is a private library on the estate that is kind of rented out and used by academics on the island. They ask permission from the Kensington estate. Big manor on the top of the hill.
Mhm. Okay.
So while you do that, anyone else? Lich? Where would you be right now? On the boat still, or like would you explore the town?
I'd be exploring the town.
Exploring the town, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if me would split the gold with the scorpion legs.
Well, so far he's run off to the library, so you're gonna have to go after him if you want to ask
Yeah.
that.
I see.
But as you walk and explore through the town, decent amount of hustle and bustle, people going to market as usual. You can see kind of like semi-feral kobolds, kind of like digging through trash, begging for food or money or whatever. Kind of halfway, just like a little less human than like a homeless person, but a little more of a big deal than a raccoon.
I see.
They're a little bit of a nuisance, but some of the shop owners will like chase him off with like a broomstick and they'll leave him alone. Like fighting with a seagull over some scraps here and there. Yes. I don't know if he got the whole bag of newspapers. No, I think he would have just. No, he would have just run off. Yeah.
I think you said that he
Yeah.
dropped the bag and ran off.
There you go. Then there's like a
He
stack of...
pretty much like threw up all the newspapers into the air and ran off.
Oh yeah, that's right. He rejected his identity as the newspaper salesboy and
Yeah.
is now pursuing his own somewhere, wherever he is.
Man, I can't wait for the actions of my consequences.
The actions of your consequences.
But in a good way. In a
The
good way. In a good way.
The actions of your consequences.
Yes.
No,
Not the
the-
consequences of your actions.
Is that usually used in a bad way or is it used in a good way? Because
Well,
You can use it both ways. It's usually consequences is usually kind of threatening.
although
Yeah.
consequences is technically neutral. The thing is
It
that
is yeah.
that I was laughing about the fact that Yagi said it backwards and said actions of my consequences, not consequences of my actions.
The actions of your consequences.
Yeah, yeah.
All
I just
right.
forget, okay?
Okay, so
Maybe the memory
yes.
circuit isn't doing so well after taking a crash.
Yeah. In fact, there is something that you can try to do. Is go to like a maintenance place and get like a tune-up.
get to
A tune.
Why do that when I can spend the rest of my money to open up a soup kitchen for the poor orphans
You can
and the
absolutely.
kobolds?
The kobolds,
I
they're
have 9 gold though. Is that even enough?
the kobolds. Like I said, they're like if you see them, they're less than a homeless person and more than a raccoon. Somewhere in between homeless and raccoon. I don't know if
Yeah.
you'd be making like a soup kitchen or an animal shelter or something in between. But there's some level of ambiguity there.
But they're still people too, you know?
That is
Doesn't matter.
something
If
your
they eat
character
my
is free to
food, they
believe.
eat my food. Look, if I can feed an isopod, a slime, a bunch of kobolds, an
feeds,
entire
if
ship,
it
I'm
can-
sure this is no
if it
different. They all
hunters-
have mouths to feed.
I'll remember that the next time there's the many-mouthed Hydra that is.
Yagi will probably find something to
I'll
throw
stuff
at.
it with food.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he will.
it'll be you.
It's either I stuff it with food or I make it food. As in make it food, I mean make it into food.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going on back at the Kensington estate. You go up the hill. Finely trimmed hedges, a beautiful courtyard. There's a what is it called? Croquet? When you hit the ball with a hammer
Yeah.
through the little
so.
iron ring.
I think so.
They're ladies chittering, talking as they play croquet. And you'll make it to the front door. Servant will greet you, saying, how would you say you're dressed? Actually, how would you say you're dressed?
Probably not like super formal, but like at least decently like like I guess semi-formal? Yeah.
Business casual?
Yeah, something like that.
Like
yeah.
what? We're talking robes or like sailor's garb or
Probably like a nicer sailor's garb.
okay, yeah. So more like an officer's coat.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. In that case, they will treat you with a little more respect than they would any old kobold that stumbles onto the grounds.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I have your name and business? A portly butler kind of leans down.
Say Rumus Riverflare and looking for information about a relic I found.
Yes. I believe you'll find an antiquarian of ours in the library. If you would follow me, he'll lead you in. It's a pretty nice manor, as you would expect from its sparkling exterior. Carpet, woven goods like these tend to be really expensive because there aren't a lot of like sheep on these islands. You have to get them imported from the mainland. Not only that, but like the
Can't they just breed
chandeliers.
them?
Well, we'll get to that. You can make a history check to learn more about that. But yeah, clearly having imported goods is a sign of prestige.
Okay.
Go up, up, up. You see, he'll introduce you. He'll open the door for you because the door handles are all like human height.
Yagi, you're not even in the manor, I don't think.
Right.
Yes.
Well, you can still make that. You can still wonder that out of the blue if you want.
You can wonder it, and then be like,
Wonder about the sheep out of the blue, like, oh, why do they raise sheep around here?
why don't they raise sheep around here? Rolls a 2. I guess that, sheep
Guess I'll
just
never
don't.
know.
I guess sheep just don't like to swim.
I guess mutton is popular nowadays.
Okay.
You see a rather plain-looking woman. Got like a blue dress. She looks like she hasn't slept in a while. She kind of blinks, like, yes. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. What can I help you with?
I just give her the statue and say that.
The moment you reveal the statue in its inky darkness, she kind of recoils and looks like what blood was left in her face kind of drains away. It's like, whoa, not so sudden, not so sudden.
I ask her about if she knows anything about what the origin of this might be.
You're serious? First, I would ask that you put that away and put it a little bit further away from us so that it can't hear.
Okay. I guess...
So there's like another table on the other side or whatever.
Okay.
Box. You need to be very careful just picking up whatever you find on your adventures.
Okay.
Are you listening to me?
Yes.
I don't think you understand quite how dangerous that, and she points, is.
Not really.
Clearly. Have you ever encountered pirates on the seas?
Not really.
Not really. Well, they have a sort of religion, as it is. They call themselves a Brotherhood of the Abyss. And they have secret rituals and the like. Terrible, and they do terrible, terrible things. Sacrifices and such. Nasty business. And that thing that you brought is one of theirs. One of their idols. That they pass around amongst each other.
I then ask, I guess, what I should do with it.
Oh, throw it in the sea. The real risk that you have in keeping it is that it will gather, pirates and other unsightly folk to your ship. Very dangerous. He might be listening or looking at you right now.
I guess I glance over at it.
It looks like a normal statuette to you. It's like, ugh. It's not immediately sinister. It's just kind of like subtle.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always crush the head, right?
Somehow I get the feeling that would not be a wise idea.
Look, I mean, if there's no head, they can't see you, so.
Maybe. I don't know. You're not there. That's one of the things you can't spontaneously wonder.
Yeah. I guess like while I'm here, I also ask about if they have any information on any like books or whatever on dragons.
Dragons, yes, we do have books about dragons. How to train your dragon, how to breed your dragon.
Uh, anything
A song.
anything on
We have many things. You have to be a little bit more specific.
life
Dragon
cycle?
love ballads. What was that?
Life cycle?
Life cycle of dragons. I would be going into legends, as there haven't been many. We will stand up and look along the rows and rows of books. She starts picking them one by one and setting them down on a cart. Dragons are very mysterious. Clearly, they haven't exactly been studied in captivity. I suppose these books would be of most use to you. And she hands you a book. It's like it's like a bestiary, I guess. It has a segment about dragons.
Okay.
If you want to know more, you'd have to go to the proper academy at Fentworthington's.
I guess I search through it for any mention of eggs
Eggs.
and hatching and whatnot.
It says dragon eggs were a highly sought after commodity. Well, among the prized loot that you could get from a horde, whether by conquest or by theft. One who steals a dragon's egg is said to be cursed to be hunted down by its parent forever.
Okay, so nothing about hatching.
Also says to make an intelligence check to see just how well your reading ability is, because this stuff can go really into droning academic
20.
lingo. 20 is pretty good. Obviously, there's never been recorded that anyone's been around to see a dragon hatch. Because a brooding dragon is a very dangerous and killy dragon. You'll also, what else would it say? To the 20, it goes into conjecture. With a 20, that there's a lot of it's not so physiological. It's not like you just warm it under a heat lamp or anything. The time has to be right with, like, it has to be fated to hatch at a certain time, supposedly. Dragon eggs can last many, many years, even unattended, and survive for a viable hatching.
Okay.
So, doesn't look like there are any clear, solid answers in the book. Except that, with a 20, you can with a 20, the one thing that you solidly come out for is that yes, it feels right that fate. It has a lot to do with fate and the weave and the balance of power shifting in the world.
Okay. interesting.
Anyway, back in town, you're taking a nice stroll. Both of you, I guess, you're taking a nice stroll.
Yep.
Nice sunny day. Do you read your newspaper?
Yeah, I
Dr.
want to
Wu.
read it.
Yeah, its headline news is the convoy that was sunk. That you were tailing along. Apparently, there was a lot of secrecy involved. A lot of high-level secrecy and security involved. It is currently suspected that someone was after the secrets. Maybe a bunch of like rogue, um, rogue wizards, or perhaps the Brotherhood of the Abyss came together. Again, a lot of stuff is being kept hush hush because of government orders, basically. So there's a lot of speculation and sensationalism about what it could be. It's like Area 51. We're like, oh, it could be aliens. It could be like the Wiles. Like
Gotcha.
that's what the
Who's
talk
that
of the
son of
town
a
is.
bitch that rot my food?
That's the talk of the town is people wondering like, oh, I wonder what could be in there. I bet it's. I bet it's the. I bet it's just gold. Like, oh, I bet it's like magic items and stuff. But whatever the case is, there's a lot of uncertainty with the shipping. That if there's something unidentified still that can just like take on a military fleet, a lot of traders right now are kind of shaken up, wondering if it is worth their money and their lives to try to move their goods.
Gotcha.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know either what was being kept there. Do
In
we?
other news,
I don't think we have.
I won't say anything about that. You can make a intelligence a history check or other intelligence check.
I'll take my chance for intelligence, despite it still being 0. So either way, it doesn't change
Yeah.
anything.
Right on.
Change. 10.
Ten?
Yeah, 10.
10. 10. I mean, you guys were on the edge of the convoy. You can surmise that whatever they were holding wasn't like a big amount of whatever it is.
Yeah.
They could have been hiding it in one of the military ships as a decoy, but hard to tell. Actually,
I see.
with a 10, no, the newspaper would tell you that there are people near the wreck site who are like civilians who are diving down just to get a chance at snatching the treasure, despite whatever it is.
That's interesting.
Ah, yes, out in the middle of the ocean where that shit happened. Why not?
Yeah.
It feels safe. In other news,
Like there's no underwater monsters down there.
three fishing boats were destroyed by a sea slime. And a word of caution
That's
about
my
sea slimes.
boy.
And in sports
Yeah.
news, it's not a lot of sports news. A lot of it has to do with commerce, just because that's just kind of what you do.
Yeah.
No, I'll just tuck the newspaper back in after finishing reading it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I should give my isopod to read it. I think they can read, right?
Isopods, you can make a nature check.
Ah, yes, make a nature check.
Nine.
I'm just rolling super low.
It's currently curled up. You have no reason to believe that it can read, but then again, you never really know until you try, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't wanna, since it's asleep and all, so I'll just tuck it back in anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, why do I need maintenance anyways? I'm completely fine.
I don't know. I don't know if salt water does damage to your body. You might want to get some rust cleaner.
Nah.
What's Lich doing at this point in time?
Yeah, what is he doing? He's taking a walk, right?
I'd like to take a look at my surroundings. I do see if I can notice anything.
Yeah.
That'd be insight, right?
No, that'd be perception. Insight is more
Perception.
psychological.
Gotcha. Ooh.
11.
Yeah, not bad.
You look around and you listen, and when the wind dies down, just briefly, you hear the bong, bing, bong, bing, bong sound of hundreds and hundreds of bells in the distance before it is again covered up by bells, by the wind. The bells are covered by bells, people know. Besides that, I smell the sea, kids playing in the houses. In the houses, no, they're playing outside, obviously. There's a bustling open air market down the road where they're selling different kinds of seafood, local crops. I hate to do this again, but you feel a presence watching you.
Huh.
Oh boy.
Just like, oh, but with an 11, it's gone before you can take a look. Another thing that you
Okay, but
notice with an 11 is this is one of the older cities, but the waterways, the plumbing is really well developed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
would I also feel like I'm being watched because I have passive perception 16?
It's true. Would you be watched? No, he has no reason to watch you.
Strange.
Very strange. Perhaps because he is made of metal and not flesh.
Yeah, he has no reason to watch you.
Yeah.
DM makes a roll. Kind of suspicious.
Mm,
I think that
Oh,
was.
it's nothing to worry about.
I think that was probably a roll for checking if you were
if
being
Yaga would
watched,
be. Yeah.
because it did happen at about that time. Uh, let's see. I guess while I have like little bestiary book, I also look to see if there's anything in it that might give us a clue about the fog.
Go ahead and make another intelligence check.
Okay, one sec. I need to pull.
You are going to get a baseline of information. This is just for like
Yeah, how much
how
information I
successful
get?
it's gonna be.
Yeah.
9.
9. It's not as if you can look through the index and search by fog. It will send the one that you see is something called a watcher.
Mm-hmm.
It is a sea monster that causes psychosis on the crew of ships that it preys on.
Mm.
Without without its mind altering abilities, it's not too physically threatening. But the real problem is when it messes with the organization of a ship, causes sailors to jump down off the sides of the boat. They tend to work in conjunction with other predators to bring down whole ships. So they will do their whole mind control bit, cause some panic on the ship, making it easier for another bigger monster to chomp.
Okay.
But besides that, no mention of like actual overwhelming fog or anything.
Uh, okay. Then are the other books about dragons still something that is out, or have they been put back?
They're out. Their usefulness is limited, shall we say?
Uh,
A lot of it is like legendary stuff that you can
Is
only
there-
like partially glean information about dragons from.
can I try to figure out if there's anything that would be of a legend relating to one of my patrons? Or
Yes.
not, or to my patron, yeah. To a story.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the stories of. There we go. That.
Yeah.
Okay. Would that be investigation? I think.
Sure. Yeah.
6. Oof.
6. You spend a good amount of time reading through a slow burning erotica between a human man and a female dragon. And you get a little bit invested before you realize, oh wait, this isn't useful.
Oh, I think.
With 6, you do actually gain something a little bit relevant from that slow burning erotica. Is the dragon makes a reference to its heart of hearts, and that his love will live on or her love will live on forever in his heart of hearts, even past the decay of their bodies.
I'm assuming that I can't cross-reference that anywhere. For now.
Not with a 6, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just write that down in the notes.
I thought it was worth noting.
Okay. Oh. I guess then I put the book back, cover up
That's a shame.
cover up the little statue to try to prevent it from doing anything. And then
Yeah.
thank the librarian and leave.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I struggle with inducing a clear sense of direction.
Well,
Just because I like to give my players freedom, but let me try to deviate from that just to.
On one hand, I know what direction I'm thinking of going, but on the other hand, I can't actually take that action yet because it would be metagaming otherwise.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
once we
if you're
once we regroup, then I have an idea of what I'd want to do.
Yes.
Alright.
Assuming that
Hey DM, how much for a gun?
For a gun, guns are affordable-ish. What kind of gun are you thinking of? Like a handgun or a musket?
Uh
I
which one is affordable? because I only have 9
Affordable.
gold.
9 gold isn't gonna get you anything good.
Um,
You're probably gonna want to get some more money before you start splurging. There's some
I have
jobs
9
here and there.
gold, and I'm at the marketplace. You know how this goes.
Yeah, there's plenty of goods. Just not
There's plenty of
necessarily guns that you can get for less than like, geez, guns. Guns are one, yeah.
some meat, some cabbage, some
Yes.
potatoes, some
Uh,
carrots, and a gun. And it
Produce
makes a good
is
stew.
harder to come by, but it is there. There's a lot of meat, but there is something rather interesting you find. A
What
new
is it?
product on the market. It is a kind of meat in a pot, in a sealed pot. And there's like each little pot, like the size of a fist, has a little logo on it of a smiling man, almost like a Monopoly man, or the Pringles guy. It says Mr. Caleb's Fine Meats.
Man, I could really go for some fine meats right now.
Yeah. There's like a display, and inside is like
Oh.
if you ever opened up a thing of spam, it's like that,
Oh,
where it's
so it's
just
just
like
canned food.
You are not
full on
safe for
pink.
propaganda.
Well, in the context of this world, this is unheard of.
But which one's cheaper though? Because I got like 9
Steamed
gold to
ham.
spend in it, and why?
What's cheap right now is like salted pork. You can get like a barrel of salted pork for a gold.
You know what? I'm gonna feed some orphans tonight, boys.
Fantastic. What you gonna feed them?
Well,
Steamed
whatever 4
hams.
gold I can spend it on.
Steamed hams.
I'm going to spend 4 gold.
4 gold. How many orphans do you want to feed? There's probably
What
like
the fuck am I
12.
supposed to
There's like
know?
12 in the orphanage right now, I guess. So like if you want to spend 4 gold, that's like a fine meal. They'll be dining real good. For 4 gold.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, you could use some of the stuff to feed the orphans, and you could take some of it back to feed some of the kobolds on the island at some point.
That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, if we're going back there, then yes, I would buy them some stuff. But right now, we're here, and there's no signs of us going back yet. So,
Alright.
With 4 golds, what you can get, what you would be making is like a Charybdis liver salt bake. So this is one of the prized organs from one of the deadliest sea monsters that people have encountered. Not the D&D Charybdis. This is a homebrew Charybdis. So don't worry about CR and like, oh my gosh, that's like 12 billion attack.
I don't know what Charybdis is, though.
Well,
Yeah.
as far as you know, it's a prime gourmet food ingredient.
Nothing we need to
You know,
worry
as far
about
as I know,
for
meat
now.
is meat.
Alternatively, you could just buy a fuck ton of meat and feed the orphans for days, rather than feeding them one fancy
Exactly. Like, why will I buy this
Yeah.
expensive piece of meat when I could
I
buy a
don't know.
whole bunch of meat?
Yeah, if you want to feed them a while, you can get like sacks of flour.
thing, and just make like dozens of loaves of bread.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Or you know, just like instead of like one big meal, just make it so like they can like at least save up for like a few days of food.
yeah, okay. I mean, you did give that paper boy a cold gold, so I didn't know how much you wanted to spend. You know.
Well, he said 4 gold, and you could get like what, a few barrels full of salted meats, which are cured for like one. Did you say 1 or 2 barrels of salted meat for gold?
One.
Depends on the quality, but you can get like a 2 if
Okay.
you're not
Oh.
too worried about quality.
No, so with 4 gold, he could get like, you know, a bunch of salted meat for the orphans, and salted meat is cured, so lasts a long time. So
Alright.
I mean, throw in some veggies as well, and maybe teach them how to maybe cook as well.
Very good. Most of what the orphans learn here is religion, sailing stuff, because most of if you grew up without a trade, that's what you're probably going to be as a deckhand. Tie some
But
knots.
I mean, could teach them cooking for another option.
That's true.
Sure.
Skilled labor is well valued on a ship. What would the orphanage be like? Who would be?
That is a good question.
I'm just wondering, well, how would they
Now that I
react
think
to?
about it, now that I think, would there be Warforged orphans? Because wait, why would they make a child-sized Warforged? Is the thing with the paper
know.
boy?
That is a fantastic world building question that I do in fact have an answer to. However, that will take some digging into ancient history.
So you see, when
Let's
two
see.
Warforges love each other very much,
My immediate assumption is, oh, most paper boys are, boys, so obviously it doesn't make sense to have a full ass warforged for the same thing that you'd be having a child doing. It makes more sense to have it be more similar to who you'd normally be having do the job, but I don't know. That's what my assumption would of why it would be like a small,
Yeah.
Thing there.
That's another thing about the Warforged culture is not all of them necessarily. Not all of them have the jobs that they did that they were built for.
Interesting.
All right.
one of those cases would be me.
Yeah.
Spell
So who knows?
coding.
Maybe the paperboy was like some kind of prototype death machine. I don't know.
Mm,
But then they made him too small, so
dang.
The robot coup, the AI uprising, starts now.
they took our jobs.
They took our jobs.
Josh.
They don't even need to eat. What are they getting paid for?
Labor.
Oil baths.
Buckle pads.
Oil changes.
Maintenance.
Honestly, maintenance.
Yeah.
Oof. Ah. Oh. Okay.
So got a bunch of veggies, bread, and meat.
Yes, you can. They will, since you do have the bills and the qualifications of a chef. They will be very pleased. Yeah, I'm a little running on empty right now, but another rumor that they will hear walking around. This might have been on the paper too in one of the sub stories. Is that a rogue dentist warforged, has been going around forcibly fixing people's teeth,
Now
and
that's
was
You mean
ousted
in
from
a
town.
good way, or
Well, that's where it gets interesting. Is it tends to do a good job, but it's also really violent. And now it's in the woods somewhere. No one has heard from it since.
maybe it found some sort of monster that needs its teeth fixed.
Yes.
well, I hope he doesn't turn into the toothpick for it. So
I thought for a second there, I thought you were going to say the tooth fairy. Hope he doesn't turn into the tooth fairy.
look, I don't know about you, but I think being a tooth fairy
I
for
mean-
monsters would fetch quite a price
I
because
mean,
monster
Fey
teeth,
influence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
probably.
Honestly, being a warforged myself, I would probably want to get my Brevlin back.
Yeah.
The developing story, as far as the press goes. Anyway, I gotta use the bathroom real bad. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so
By the way, how much longer? How much longer the session is gonna
Oh.
last?
That's a good question. I did start off later, so we could end it here for now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Make sure your characters talk about what you guys learned, just so that we can have a nice
Okay, yeah.
head start next time.
Yeah, we will.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Wow,
Thanks,
that was quick.